Final Cut Pro for iPad has a new version, now version 3.0, and in this video we will take a look at all of the new features that they added to Final Cut Pro. So when we come here to the App Store and we search for Final Cut Pro, we see now here version 3.0, and if you click here on what's new, you will always see here the version history, and you can click here on more, and then you see everything is now introduced with version 3.0. So the first AI feature that they now introduced is the Transcript Search. So if you just started Final Cut Pro, you will probably notice this icon here. If you click on this one, you will see that it's still analyzing the media. It was doing this when I first opened this demo project. And after the media is analyzed, then you can use the AI-powered search. For example, I can search for the word New Year and search. And now it will show me the video clips and the audio clips where New Year also is part of that audio clip. So you can search by word because all the audio is transcribed. Another search feature that also uses AI is the visual search. So you have now Discover Visual Search that is a fast and easy way to locate moments in your footage. If I type in here bridge, it will show me only the clips where it found a bridge. Same like Google does with Google Photos and everything. You can now search by objects and locations, and it will find them for you in the media pool. Another feature that they now introduced is the beat detector. I can right click this, longer press with your pencil or with your finger, and then I can say here, enable beat detection. So now I see all of this. Let's make this a bit bigger. So what you can do is, I'm for example using the iPad mini 7 for Final Cut Pro right now. I can make picture in picture and put this somewhere here on the top. And now I see a little bit more here of my timeline. So what you see now here is I see the beats and the lines in between. And if I now, for example, activate this one here, this is the snapping. So if this is on, I can now, for example, take stuff and also align it to the beats that you can see here. If you're done with the beats and the changing, you can also turn beats detection off here as well. Another new feature that they introduced is the so-called Montage Maker. That's an AI that helps you to create a montage out of your clips. So if we come back here and we create a new timeline from this project. So I already created one, but let's do one together. And we call this one timeline 3, create timeline. The very first time you start a timeline and you have your stuff here in the media, you can either add stuff here to the timeline, or I can also say create montage. It will use everything that it finds and tries to make its own selection for a video clip like this, and then it opens this. But not just that, let's come back here before we just do this, discard the montage. I will show you what you can do as well. Come back to the main video, edit. And I come here to the end of my timeline. I place my playhead here. And now I come here to my media pool and I hit select. And now I can also say which clips I actually want to use for the Montage Maker. So let's say I want to use these clips here. When I select them, I have this new icon here, which I can click. So now I can click on this one. And out of the selected clips, it will open now this Montage Maker. And before you add it to your timeline, you can do a couple of selections and changes here as well. So first of all, you can see the clips that it used. But you can very simple, by longer pressing, take a clip and, for example, move it around and change it. You can even, if I right click on this one, I can even replace this clip with another clip. I can add a new clip that is not here after this clip, or I can also just delete this one from here. Then I have a couple of more settings that I can do, like aspect ratio, cropping, media, and music. Let's do, for example, music. You have two ways to add music. You can use the generated music that is part of Final Cut Pro and use one of these. Or if in your media pool is music imported, you can come here to import and then, for example, select the music. And what you also can do is here under speed, you can change the speed, how fast it tries to match it. So you can make it slow, default, or fast, and then I can say done. If I'm done with my selection with this Montage Maker, I can say here add to timeline. And now you see on top of my timeline that I already created, it just adds these clips with the music here to my timeline. So if you just want to start something, a montage video, and you don't want to really deal with this, for that, I think it's good. I think this is garbage. Let me explain. When I come back in, like I can't even come back. So this is now in the timeline. So let's just select all of this and delete this. Let's do this again, hit select. Let's do all selects and use this one again. So what I noticed, even if I add music, let's say this music here, and even if Final Cut Pro actually has a beat detector, it doesn't cut these montage to the music. So this is for me garbage. Like, if it's an AI feature, it should, like, even if I now, maybe I did something wrong, let's try this together. Here fast, maybe do it again. So it has the clips here, and now I add it to the timeline. Let's click this here and activate the beat detection. And we can see that it didn't make the cuts for these clips based on the beat. It's like I have to now go in and change it. And also these kind of arrangements, while they kind of make sense, they also don't really make sense. So like, what can I say? Like if you really just have a slideshow and you don't even want to build the slideshow, then for something very simple like this is good enough. But for real editing, I think it's not really good. Like, yeah, you can now argue, but hey, now the clips are already in your timeline. Yeah, but he makes the selection. We just selected all of it. It didn't use all of the clips. It doesn't build a video with A-roll, B-roll. Now we gave him everything, right? I selected everything in the media. So he has sound, he has voice. Maybe I'm thinking too much, but if I'm thinking about how can I save time with editing, if he would actually make something out of everything he finds and tries to make it as good as possible, then it would be nice. Another complaint that I have, and this is a bit weird because I think nobody in the internet is talking about this. So yes, it makes sense that there is a step in between before it comes to your timeline. So here you can do all of your adjustments. But I tell you something, for me, this looks like a very dumbed down version video editor that like any other program can do. It basically created a new version of a video editor, like when you have like these simple video editors on a phone, right? Where, yeah, here are the clips, but it doesn't even let you do the things that you want to do. So in this step, it's kind of useless. I cannot, like, besides this, rearrange, where I can take a clip, or not, or doesn't even work. I don't know, test this out. Does this work on your machine? I mean, I can click here and rearrange, but what the fuck is that? Okay, let's click this one, rearrange. I can only delete. It's not rearranging. It's deleting. That's stupid. We have the speed, which doesn't work with music at all, like I told you, which I find very, very like confusing. It's useless. It's another editing tool built in, which doesn't really like, yeah, of course you can change the aspect ratio, but come on, the aspect ratio is already done by the timeline. We have a separate step where we choose the aspect ratio. Why does it have an aspect ratio here? It doesn't create a video, so you have afterwards clips. You can make auto crop, photo and video. I mean, these are kind of useful. If you put a photo in that is too big, that it automatically zooms it to your aspect ratio. Okay, I get it. Add more media. Yeah, I mean, it's all double steps. Now I have to come back in here. It's like, it feels like I'm opening another editing software, but the AI, like I would justify the editing software if the AI functionality would be amazing and just blow me away. But here I see like, wait a second. There's another way how I can now edit, which is even less nice. Like instead of that, right? Discard montage. Instead of that, they could have also introduced something where, let's say I select this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Select a music and then just add it here to the beat maker down. Like, because you have to afterwards go in and edit all of this stuff. I'm thinking even if you're maybe faster than just dragging down your music and then dragging the clips beat by beat, because you still have to do the exact same work if you want to use the Montage Maker. Like, it was a complex explanation, but I find it garbage. I find it fucking garbage. I don't think it's a good tool. Let me know in the comments what you think. So then the next one, dive into editing with a special demo project featuring a talent singer-songwriter, Ali Sherlock. So when you come into Final Cut Pro and you don't have any of the demo projects, usually when you just start new, you probably have one demo project. There is the Lunar New Year, and there's also the Introducing to Alan Sherlock. If you don't have these demo projects, you can click here on the circle and then download demo projects, and it will show you both of these demo projects. So I downloaded them. This demo project is huge, 4.86 gigabytes, while this one is only 350 MB. So if you want to play around with the demo project, I actually would say play around with this one, so you don't have to download this one, but I will show you what's included. When we come in this, there's two timelines. We have a timeline, which is the music video. This is a part of the music video, and then we have the introduction, Ali Sherlock. So let's first open this one, which is a very simple timeline, but it's her music.
Baby, I'm sorry if I ever hurt you. You don't have.
It's cool, definitely check it out. It's also nice to see what they actually chose to make the video clip, so you have a little bit of inspiration. I think that's cool. Let's come back to the other timeline. So this timeline and this video is more like a behind the scenes, like a documentary.
Right, if you guys are just going a little bit closer for me. I broke so many rules that day, like the first day I went out busking in Dublin.
Okay, so what do I think about this? I think it's amazing to have demo projects because then you can actually look into it, how they build that story based on the clips that they have. And you can, if you don't have any clips, you can start using these clips because they're more professional and trying to rebuild a story like this. So I think for that, nice that they have another demo project. Of course, this shows what you can build with Final Cut Pro. So if some people still think that Final Cut Pro is completely garbage, it's not true. You can build actually videos and make videos with this. Is it the best tool ever? As you've seen here in my video, I complain about stuff. I complain because I use a software that is way better, DaVinci Resolve, which can do much more. So my comparison is always to that. And with the Montage Maker, for example, the reason why I was shitting on that one is because they advertise so heavily that the Creator Studio and the subscription is about these amazing AI tools, and I don't see it right now, where these AI tools really make my editing workflow better. Actually, one of the changes that now comes here to the Final Cut Pro version 3 that actually makes your editing faster is, I think, the next one or one of the next ones. So if we come back in here. So the next one is dynamic titles, just to show you that one as well. So what they added here is like when you come to this icon here, this one, you have all of these effects, transition, titles, and when you click on this one, there is a new category, and everything that is new is now highlighted with this little purplish dot so that you can see which one you didn't download it yet, which one are completely new. They build up this library. So this is one of the things that is at the beginning was very limited, and now with every update we get more stuff you can download, and that's part of that subscription. There are titles, there are backgrounds, there's lots of stuff that you can actually choose from. So, and the next one, streamline your workflow with multiple selection support in the inspector. That change is actually the most important change, in my opinion, for this version, because that change makes you actually a faster video editor. So if you click any clip in your video, you can always come to the inspector and do all of your changes here in the inspector. But in the past, the problem was if you have something, you had to do it for each clip individually, which makes no sense for a very good software. The good software lets you do it once and then just applies it to all the other clips. So let's say I want to change something here with the color. I can now select multiple clips, all of these, come here to my effects, add, for example, a color adjustment, change, for example, the contrast or something, and now this is applied to all of the clips that I selected. This is really helpful. This is what a software like this that calls itself Final Cut Pro as a pro software should actually have. But now we have it. This is amazing. So now you can actually edit faster. If you have to do changes in the end of your project and you have to go back here, you can do all of these changes at once to all of the clips that need those changes. Keep your projects moving with background exports and track their progress in live activities. So what this now is finally, since we had iPad OS 26, where they introduced that you can now render in the background, Final Cut Pro has it now. Now you can actually render in the background. So the next feature that they introduced is actually external monitor support. If you have an iPad Pro, it works without any problems. You can actually use it on an external monitor and even put this window to an external monitor. If you don't have an iPad Pro or you don't have an external monitor, what you still can do is you can even share your screen via the screen mirroring. So I can now, for example, screen mirror to my MacBook. So now I see the screen here on my MacBook. That's not the thing I want to show you, but what they also introduced now is if I'm connected to that, I can now use here external monitor playback. Activate this one. So now I can actually see what I'm editing here. And heck, what you can do now is I can now click on this one here and say here, picture-in-picture mode. So all of my timeline can become bigger and I can make this picture even as small as possible and just place that one somewhere here. And now I have a bigger timeline even here on my iPad mini, and I can work with this one here on the top and go through my timeline like this. But as I said before, if you have an iPad Pro and you have an external monitor, you can even put this window to the external monitor and then make it bigger, and then you see more from Final Cut Pro. The reason why is because what they also changed, now Final Cut Pro has all of these different ways how to resize your app. That was not possible before. Before they had only basically two sizes, either landscape or vertical. But now you have all of these sizes. That means you can put it on an external monitor and even have a bigger screen for Final Cut Pro. Okay, so these were the main changes that they also showed in the list here in the App Store. What I also want to show you is a couple of things that I found is also very helpful for you. And number one, because they talk now about all of these AI features that they added. Like I said, there's not so many and they're not so good. There's another one that you can now open is, for example, when you come here to share, you can open the image playground. This is an AI. You can generate AI images. And so now if you look here, now we have a image. So you have basically an image generator that you can now use inside of Final Cut Pro based on this one. Another thing that's actually helpful is when you come here back to generators. So what they also have now, for example, here is a grid that I can add here to my timeline. And if I come into the grid, and this is off by default, you can actually select this one, come in the inspector, and then here under options, click this one and say show OSC. That gives you these handles that you can change even the grid here, rotate it. Like if I use my two fingers, I can zoom in and out. And these handles just make it easier to work with all of these templates, generators and stuff like that. So definitely check out this. Okay, there you have it. These were all of the changes with Final Cut Pro for the iPad. So yes, I didn't like the Montage Maker so much, but I think some of the changes are very, very good. So for example, the Transcript Search and the Object Search, they seem not as big if you just have a small project and you make a very short Instagram video, then you don't really need these. But these are basically tools if you have big projects. And this is where I think Final Cut Pro is a little bit the gap between you can make bigger projects because it has a couple of more tools that helps you to organize the media, to search media. And for these kind of things, these kind of tools are helpful. Then one of the biggest changes, like I said, is that you can actually select multiple clips and make changes to all of the clips. Thank you. Now this is, in my opinion, one of the best changes that they did. If you want to learn more about Final Cut Pro, I mean, I mentioned that I'm using DaVinci Resolve most of the time. So here on my channel, it's also about DaVinci Resolve. If you're new to the channel, I'm Daniel. Welcome to my channel. I never really compare these two softwares because DaVinci Resolve is the same like on a desktop. So I also encourage people that they actually get a keyboard and they learn the shortcuts. It's the full software. So if you want the big thing because your projects are big, then DaVinci Resolve is the go-to software and it doesn't even compete. I don't compare these two. But you can do a lot with Final Cut Pro as well. And especially it is designed for just the touch. So you don't need a keyboard. You can, there's also shortcuts here, but you don't need a keyboard. You can do a lot just with the Apple Pencil. It's optimized for this touchscreen, for the iPad, and you can see the power there. If you want to learn more about Final Cut Pro on the iPad, I made a complete masterclass from beginner to pro to show you all of the most important tools so that you can speed up the learning curve and just learn what is important for you and how you can make your videos. I think it's a good step forward to get more and more updates. Another comparison, I said I don't like comparison, but DaVinci Resolve, for example, gives us an update almost every month, while Final Cut Pro sometimes has like 2 or 3 updates per year. I don't think this will change. Now seeing what was introduced, there's a couple of cool tools, but at the same time, the rate that Apple is introducing updates and stuff is not on track. I think they just have too many things that they're doing and they're not dedicated to one thing. And that shines, in my opinion, through to other softwares like DaVinci Resolve. That's their core, that's their heart. They want to improve it, and that's why they're putting all of the energy in there. While the Final Cut Pro stuff, Apple, I mean, of course they make money. This is what I think people don't get. Of course they make money and maybe they want to get more money out of people. But at the same time, this is more like a bonus feature. They make the money if we stay in the ecosystem, buy all of the other products, than actually having all of the subscription. And that's why I think they also put the price down as heavily as possible just to get people into the ecosystem. Let me know what you think about this update. If you want to learn Final Cut Pro on the iPad and master it, there is a masterclass. There's a link in the description. There's also a link in the pinned post. See you in the next video. Let me know if this was helpful. If yes, hit like, subscribe, ding-a-ding-a-bang-bang-gong, and we see us in the next video. I'm Daniel. Bye, bye, bye.